What's up, guys? Welcome back to my channel. I have some maintenance to do and checking in on some of these plants, so I figured why not have you keep me company? Good idea, right? I think so. Um, got some orchid stuff, succulents, peperomia, plectranthus, stuff like that. Anyway, let's get started. Um, and also explain how I'm growing these because some things are a little bit unconventional, but what do you expect? It's me. Oh, you didn't see my shirt. Look. Let me move this out of the way. What does that say? Plant Whisperer. Because every day I do this. I'm kidding. That's so corny. Okay. First up, we have Phalaenopsis. This is the one that is blooming once again. Look at these beautiful flowers. Let me get close for you so you can see. Look at those beautiful, beautiful flowers. This one is growing in semi-water culture, which is a couple days with water, the rest of the week without. Sometimes I go a little longer without, just FYI. Um, but what I did, I don't know if you remember from one of the last videos, I took these two orchids and I moved them to a dark room, just gave them like a break, didn't water them. So they kind of went to sleep a little bit. And sure enough, I brought them back and I brought them out into a sunny window, gave them some water, and now they started spiking and blooming. This one is the next one that's getting ready to bloom. Can you see the spike right there? We'll get to that in a minute. You just stay right there. Okay, so this fowl is just in semi-water culture, okay, which means, like I said, a couple of days of moisture and the rest of the week without. So what I'm going to do is clean up some of these roots because we have some dried up roots from the dormancy period that I forced them into. So I'm just going to cut some of these roots off and just clean it up a little bit. A lot of people will probably be saying, "Oh my God, what are you doing? It's in the middle of a bloom cycle. Why are you doing this?" Because the plant doesn't mind. These plants are, once you figure it out and you get what they need, they're pretty resilient. Yeah, this root needs to go. This one needs to go. Bye. Okay, so that's a big root. Okay, it's fine. So yeah, this plant is doing very well. Uh, these two orchids had, I mean, they still probably do. This is my alcohol, a scale insect. So what I do is sometimes I use a little bit of soap, soapy water, but otherwise I just spray them down with alcohol, and I have to rub down the leaves only because scales, they can really stick tight to the leaves and the stems, that if you don't move them, sometimes the alcohol can't get in to kill them. That sounds so horrible. Sometimes, sometimes they, it doesn't work. So by rubbing the leaves, you're dislodging any of them that might be tightly adhering to the leaves of the stems. And let me just spray this spike a little bit, and that should be it. But it looks like most of these roots, oh, but here's another dead one. Most of these roots are in good shape. But as you can see, semi-water culture really makes these plants root up nicely. Look at this. Look at all of these delicious, beautiful roots. Root porn at its best. Okay, so this one can go back yet. Wait, 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 wait. I think I see another one here that needs to be cut. Need to be cut. Where are you? Yeah, this one has a little bit of a dead tip. Let me cut that off. The reason why I'm cutting them off is because I risk creating a rot situation anytime that it's in the water phase, whenever I water the plant for the couple of days that it's going to sit in the water. And I risk creating a rot situation in the root zone because the dead roots will rot if they're in moisture for too long. Okay, I think that this is, wait, no, this one's got to come off. Got to come off. Come on, bye-bye. Right there. All right. And then this goes around like this. I'll just cut this one off. All right. So there we have it. Beautiful fowl going back into its vase. And this one needs to be watered. So after the video, I will water this plant. But I'm telling you, so easy. This is such an easy method to grow Phalaenopsis orchids in. I don't have a lot of extensive knowledge on other orchid species. I mean, I have some Cattleyas, never bloomed for me. I have some Oncidium, never bloomed for me. I have an Encyclia here that's been sick with bugs. Encyclia, get it? Never mind. So this one hasn't bloomed yet either, but the phals regularly bloom, and I got a way to force them to bloom by making them rest. Anyway, it's not like it's a secret. I'm sure a lot of people know about that. But I just love being able to make this happen like that. The other one, since we're done with this one, the other one is in acrylic yarn medium, okay? And this one, because the yarn holds on to moisture longer than just the roots in semi-waterculture, look at how much more robust and healthy these leaves are. They're very, very healthy, sturdy, and look at the roots all around the acrylic. Look at that. I'm telling you, I really feel like the acrylic yarn works for so many different types of plants. Plus, we got a spike. We got a spike happening right here. But I have to spray this down. I don't really see many dead roots here at all, so I'm not even going to pull that out. Most of those roots in there look very healthy and happy. So I'm just going to spray this down because I did see some scale insect on here earlier when I was getting ready for the video. So perfect time to just show how I quickly take care of that. Just going to go into all the crevices, make sure I remove anything that might be holding on. One thing I want to show you that's really interesting, and I don't know if it's just this orchid or if it's because of the medium or what, but this one, usually you have like the growth phase where it leaves out, right? Grows roots, grows leaves. And then you have the blooming phase when it spikes and then blooms. Well, I forced it into the blooms phase, but it's also growing new roots and new leaves. Look at this. A new baby leaf right in there. And we've got a new root here. This one's a new root. So it's almost like this particular orchid is both growing and blooming at the same time, which is not as common. Let's put it that way. Usually it's one or the other. But I'm not going to worry about it because I think this plant is very healthy. And I just started using a slow release orchid fertilizer, NutriCoat, I think it's called. I use it for a lot of plants, even in water culture. I just drop some of those pellets in there and let them dissolve over time. Plants love it. They love it. And it's very gentle. It has macro and micronutrients, just like Better Grow Orchid Plus that I use on everything else that I have in water culture. It's like a hydroponic nutrient, pretty much. But yeah, look at this. This plant is doing great. And I can't wait to see what the color of the flowers are. It's either pink or purple, but it's a different color purple than that one. So I don't know, but we will see. And of course, I'll do a video because I can't keep things to myself. Okay, next up, we're going to show you the peperomia. This is one of the peps that I transferred to acrylic yarn in a self-watering planter. This, I think, is a gray ripple peperomia caperata. And it doesn't look like there's really anything to clean up. It has a lot of new baby leaves growing out. What I do for these guys, because I was experimenting putting them in acrylic, and what I noticed is some, not all, caperata, the rippled peperomias, don't like to stay wet for too long. And a lot of people say, oh no, they need damp soil. Well, these guys, from my experience, I had some meltdown because they were wet for too long. Maybe there was some bacteria or something or fungus in the root zone. But so I let them dry out. The acrylic is pretty dry. There's nothing in the reservoir. That's when I know I'm going to water this now because I'm not going to wait for it to wilt. Every time I do that with peperomia, sometimes they wilt too far and they're too far gone. And then that's the end of that. So I don't wait for them to wilt. I just check the medium. And this one's ready for water. So you can take a look at these leaves. They're really cool looking. And this has grown a lot since I put it in here in acrylic yarn. So don't really fertilize these guys too much. But when I do, I give them the Better Grow Orchid. And I do fine. So that's that. Okay. Who says that aloe does not grow well in semi-hydro setup? Not me. Because look at this. This is some type of an aloe hybrid. It didn't come with a identification tag or a name or anything. It is some type of a hybrid though, and a lot of them look alike, so I can never really tell. Unless you have a tag, you can't tell. Now, the trick that I've learned for these guys is You can grow them. These are in lava rock, not leca. Same difference though, even if you had it in leca. For me, just for me, I have to let it dry out completely. Um, it's hit or miss if they have a reservoir, whether their roots are going to rot or not. I'm not sure if it's because the lava rock wasn't sterilized enough. I don't know. I don't know what the reasoning is, but I've had the most success by letting it dry out completely, like it is right now, bone dry, and then wetting down all the medium, all the lava rock in this case, and not really consciously leaving a reservoir, but of course it's going to settle to the bottom. But I'll just wait for that to get used up, let it dry out, and then I'll water it again. That's what I did here, completely bone dry. But the plant has grown like 3 inches since I put it in here, so it's happy. And you can see the roots, right? See those roots at the bottom? Very dark. I'm sure some of them aren't viable, but most of them seem to be. I'm not going to take them out because I don't like disrupting them when they're rooted into a medium like this. But I know it's time to water because it's bone dry. Just in case we got any mealy situations or anything, I'm just going to spray this down a little bit with the alcohol. Doesn't hurt them at all. I don't even dilute the alcohol. It's 70% isopropyl alcohol, and it really has saved a lot of problems. Saved me from a lot of problems with mealybugs, spider mites. A little more tricky. You kind of have to put some dish soap in so it kind of sticks to it. But but otherwise, yeah, these guys do just fine with the alcohol spray and in dry lava rock. But it's time to water. All right, so that's that one. Next up, we have this was an encyclia orchid. Never bloomed for me, but it's been in the ICU because it had thrips. And these thrips were pretty brutal. It's almost the same thrips that decimated almost every one of my calathea. So I was really angry. Let me tell you, when I realized how bad my calathea were, I wanted to cry. I'm not ashamed. I didn't, but I wanted to because I put so much work into transferring them to water culture. They were happy and healthy and lush and beautiful, and something somehow brought in those thrips. I think they were thrips, or there was some type of a weird mite. I don't know. They didn't have any webbing, so I know it wasn't spider mites. Whatever it was, brutal, and I hate them. Okay, I feel better now. So so yeah, these guys had a similar bug issue, so I kept them separate. This has been severely neglected, this orchid. Okay, I watered it a couple times, which is not nearly enough. But these roots are pretty much, I'd say 90% of these roots are dead. Okay. So I'm going to have to snip these off, wait for new roots to grow. But just like orchids do, these guys like to have that dry cycle. So this was a really long dry cycle. But when I got this orchid, it was only 2 pseudobulbs. So see those two right there? It's grown this little tiny baby, this one, this one, this one, and this one. So we have a lot of growth on a severely neglected orchid. I didn't plant it. I just forgot about it and it was all buggy, so I kept it separate. And that's a problem. When you have a lot of plants and then you keep some separate in different areas, you forget. You forget where you put them, you forget why you put them there. This one I remembered because it had damage on the leaves, which I cut off. But this one will definitely be watered. I'm going to keep it in an empty vessel with, in semi-water culture just to let it dry out. And yeah, so just in case you're wondering, this is an encyclia alata crossed with Fowley. I don't know what that looks like. It says brown, so it's probably like a purple brown color of the flower. I don't really remember what it looked like on the tag, but I do remember that I liked it, and that's why I got it. And I never had an encyclia. This one was, I guess, either grown from seed or it was one pseudobulb or two pseudobulbs, and it's from 2020. So this is during the pandemic, and I haven't done anything to it. So I promise I'm going to take care of it now because I'm interested in seeing what these flowers look like because I've never had one of these, and I've never seen one of them bloom. Encyclia, we shall see. Move all this junk out of the way. All right. Next up and last, this is a follow-up to the Plectranthus Silvercrest that I chopped and propped. For you guys, it was a couple weeks ago. I put some of the cuttings in acrylic yarn, and I put some other cuttings in lava rock. I'm not surprised, but the acrylic yarn is doing phenomenally well. Lava rock is doing okay too. Um, you can see some of the roots here. See those roots growing in the lava? Some areas, not as much. There too. Not as much as you can see in the acrylic yarn. Everything except for one of these has rooted. You can see all those roots everywhere. This one I think is the one that has not rooted, and I noticed it hadn't rooted because the leaves are a little wilted. So I'm going to fill up a little bit more water so that the bottom of this stem will be in the water, so it'll root better. But yeah, that's about it. Look at these roots, though. I love seeing when the new roots come out. So yeah, the only one that's wilting is this one because it hasn't got any roots. Everything else is rooted. The plant already started growing. I could start fertilizing if I want. This plant grows fast, and it's beautiful, shiny, furry silver. And I recommend them. They're great as trailing plants in hanging planters. They're also great as fillers, spillers, and outside flower planters and pots. I think they're very easy. And, I love things that grow fast because I need instant gratification right now. So anyway, that's what we got going on today. And I'm going crazy now with my mic and my setup here. So I'm just gonna do like videos every 5 minutes now. You're in for it. No, I'm kidding. I won't do that to you. And if I do, I'll spread them out. So I won't release them all at the same time because you guys get sick of this face. Trust me. Anyway, if you have any questions about any of these plants, some that you've seen before, some that you have not, reach out. Let's talk. If you have a question about how I'm growing these, what medium I'm using, and why, let's talk about that as well. And if you have not, don't forget to like, comment, share, subscribe, hit that bell if you want to be notified, and I will see you in the next video. Thanks for tuning in, guys.